Hello, everybody.
Hello.
This is this moment, like, as soon as these live streams start, I'm like, okay, should I just start rambling and talking, or do you wait for people to hop on? So I never know what to do. I'm socially awkward.
Understand.
So what were you saying, Ron? You went to Kroger and got a rib roast?
Oh yeah, I had to go pick up a rib roast.
Bone
Gotta
in?
get it. Oh yeah, unfortunately. But it was a 95 pounds normal price. It came up to like 46. So
Okay,
that's $6.77 a pound. I guess that makes it about 7 pounds.
awesome.
Not too
Hey,
bad.
hi, Tracy. Yeah, I ordered one, but it's like, how much a pound did you just say that was?
$6.77.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
It's just choice though. It's not,
Yeah, I have
I
no
want
problem with choice.
I won't put this out here because of your post earlier.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, uh, when I was posting about like the channel taking a big hit.
Yeah.
Well, it's one of those things like it's like I try not to let that stuff bother me, but it was like when we were out on, took the boys out for their trip, like we hit over 10,000. It was like 10,030, but then ever since then it's like been like losing subscribers all the time. So it's been kind of annoying.
Yeah.
So
But you know what? The ones that matter stick around.
yeah, I
So
mean, yeah, it's just one of those things. It's like I don't know what's exactly happening, but I need to post more food videos.
you need to make another tongue video.
Oh yeah. Yeah, so what's your plan for Thanksgiving this year? I know that it's coming up, so are you planning on eating a bunch of off off diet stuff?
No, 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 no. Gonna go to my parents Thursday for Thanksgiving, of course, and I'm sure they'll have everything there that they normally have, buttermilk
Mm,
pie, sweet potato pie, pecan pie, all the desserts and everything. And of course they'll have their dressing and mashed potatoes and yams and all that type of stuff. But my mom knows what I'm doing and everything, so I just said make sure there's plenty of meat. That's what I
yeah.
told her. So she's gonna make sure about that, and then we'll do ours Friday, and we're gonna have uh, smoked turkey and duck and rib roast and
Mm.
carnivore mashed potatoes. And I'm going to try out Chris Cooking Nashville's stuffing dressing thing he made today. I'll see how that is.
Okay, well, repeat that. What was that?
Chris Cooking Nashville, he just put out a video today for carnivore stuffing or dressing.
Mm,
And I'm going to try it and see how that is, and see if that's what we're going to put in. But we're going to do his carnivore mashed potatoes on Friday. So then, of course, my kids, they'll have their, normal stuff that they normally do. So that's what we're planning. How about you?
yeah, I I ordered 2 turkeys and a rib roast. So, I'm making a lot of meat, and I think we asked our kids, like, what did they want, and I think they wanted, like, cranberry sauce and they didn't ask for stuffing, they didn't ask for mashed potatoes, they wanted green bean casserole, and so we are having some of that stuff. My mother-in-law
Yeah,
is bringing it over. It's gonna be at our house this year, and it's like but as long as I have meat, I don't care.
yeah, that's
Like,
basically right.
I literally do not care. So I was like, I ordered 2 turkeys in case I messed one up, but
In case you
um,
mess one up, yeah.
yeah, and I don't eat that much turkey. So I got that rib roast just in case also. But yeah, I see
How
Tracy
big?
just she's having a smoked ribeye for Thanksgiving. I was like, maybe I could smoke that. I told him
Yeah.
10 to 12 pounds.
Wow. Okay.
and
That that's
yeah,
pretty much the whole that's pretty much all 7 ribs, isn't it, at
yeah,
that point?
yeah. So I'm just making sure I got a lot of meat, and for me, yeah, I'm not worried about the sweets. I'm not worried about the temptation. None of that stuff really bothers me. Last year it was I had one bite of green bean casserole, so
Okay.
I failed.
You failed I
Nah,
mean,
I
come
didn't.
on. Did
No,
you really fail?
no, not really. No. Yeah. Mashed potatoes does not sound good, Ricky.
Well, if you do the carnivore, yeah, they're good.
So what
If you
is
haven't
that
tried them,
what's the carnivore mashed potatoes you're talking about? Because I have
it's,
no idea what you're talking about.
okay, well, you gotta try them because if you've ever done, like, mashed cauliflower or anything like that when you're doing keto or low
Mhm,
carb to avoid it, this, like, blows it out of the water because it's basically egg whites and butter,
okay,
and you put a little bit of other things in. He puts fresh mozzarella and sour cream and just a little bit of Parmesan cheese in it. But the secret ingredient to it is beef gelatin powder and toasted
okay,
beef gelatin powder. And oh my gosh, they are so good. Highfalutin low carb that he does a lot of reviews. He did a review of his recipe, and he was just like, he said, "Well, what is this wizardry?" Is what he said about it, because when he made it, they were good. They were really good. And I think somebody said they tried his chili in the chat,
oh, yeah,
and I want to try that too because he thickens it up with egg yolks. But
okay,
it's like beef broth and hamburger that he cooks the hamburger in the beef broth, and he adds he kind of I can't remember what it's called, but they he incorporates the egg yolks into it slowly, and then it thickens it up, and it's just a carnivore chili. So you don't have the flour and everything to thicken it up. He uses egg yolks to do it.
okay. Yeah, now I'm hungry.
Now you're hungry?
Yeah,
Yeah. I just had some chuck eye steaks earlier today that I had cut up some chuck eye. I went and bought like 10 chuck roasts from Sam's and cut them all up and made a bunch of different steaks out of them.
yeah.
Gotta admit, I still love mashed potatoes and gravy.
I mean, just
Well, who
talking about
doesn't
it,
love it? I mean,
I have not had mashed potatoes in almost 2 years, so
right? Because you're on how many days now? It's like 500 and something, or
What day is today? Saturday the 18th? That 601.
601. So you haven't had mashed potatoes in 600 days, right?
601. Yeah. I haven't had any
So
potato. Yeah. Yeah,
beef gelatin, not throw rocks.
yeah. So, yeah, Ricky likes to throw rocks at stuff. So, I made him a special shirt that I put on our website that says, "I throw rocks at vegetables."
Did he buy it?
Huh? I sent him one.
Did he?
Yeah.
Oh, you sent him one? Okay. Did he send you a picture of him wearing it?
Yes, he did, actually. Yes, he did. Wanna see it? No.
Hold up the phone and show me his picture.
Yeah. Yeah, so awesome. So, Thanksgiving is coming up. You got anything? Oh, yeah, I was gonna ask you, have you hit that 100-pound mark?
No,
Okay.
I didn't hit it. I didn't hit it, but I didn't do anything out of plan or anything like that. So I wasn't off plan or didn't do any weird things. I just didn't lose it. So it's just another day.
Okay. S Yeah, I always forget, like, how I know I asked you this, but, like, how many days have you been on carnivore?
Let's see, 200 and what is this? The 210th day?
Okay.
I think that's right. I think I was 201 last Thursday. So
Mm,
it's like the 210th or 209th day. So I'm like, nope,
okay,
210. 210, I'm on.
awesome. And, is your wife doing it too?
Oh, yeah.
Still?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. And she, if you see my last video,
Mhm.
she's lost another 3 pounds since she got her thyroid medication changed out and seemed to like kickstart her metabolism and everything. But she has actually lost 3 more pounds and she's lost 20 pounds, which she hadn't lost any weight since she had her thyroid removed. And this is the first time
Okay.
she's actually started losing weight.
Hmm.
So
Yeah,
it's
that's
awesome. She's doing great.
yeah, I noticed, my wife has been doing that elimination diet, and, like,
Hmm.
she lost a bunch of weight just randomly, and she's been, like, doing really well already because we changed a lot of the ways that we eat, but, like, just eating that beef, salt, and water for a few weeks
Hmm.
is like it's like, "What happened?" And she's like, "You like this shirt? You like this shirt?" I'm like, it's too big." Like, every shirt's too big.
that's the good answer right there.
Well, it's
Because
the true answer. I was
you
like, "It's too
notice
big.
no,
It's too
but
big."
you,
Yeah, that's
well, there's
awesome. I'm
Tracy.
glad.
She's been on this for 1153 days.
Yeah,
See, I
Tracy's
said I
been
love
doing
mashed potato. Wow,
yeah.
that's man, that's commendable right there.
Yeah.
I mean, it's no Charger Mopar, but hey.
He said he's gonna go take a bath with his ducks. So, last week, man, oh my goodness,
Oh
he
my
he had
gosh, I
me
don't even
rolling.
think.
Yeah.
Oh, he was
Yeah.
great.
So, yeah, I mean, I'm doing these open houses, so if people wanna hop on, we could, hop on and just chat about carnivore stuff or whatever, or about ducks and duck food. Oh my goodness.
Oh man,
Hey, Ellie. My
there's
wife said
Ellie.
she's not gonna go on Ellie's channel here, and they're gonna chat. So,
Okay,
yeah,
say hi to Christy. Oh
that's
my
awesome.
gosh.
So, yeah, so being on the carnivore diet for over 200 days, like, thinking back to, like, let me ask this, how has your mindset changed? The way you look at food?
Well, I mean, before doing all this, you had to eat, immediately, like 3 times a day or whatever. You had to just get your breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Now it's just I eat when I'm hungry, so it's once a day. So
Mhm.
it's my whole outlook on it is totally different because I just eat just to eat now. Before I was I was consumed. Oh, I won't say I was consumed. I guess I was more concerned on how things tasted and how what was actually. Hey, look, we had Mexican yesterday. Let's have Chinese today. And now it's
Mm,
just like instead of wondering, not having the same thing over and over again, it's more like I'm just eating because I need to. Not I'm feeling a little bit hungry, but then it doesn't take much to get full. So
okay.
it's a matter of now. It's just the whole outlook on it is totally different than it was 6 months ago. I am so glad because it's no longer a focus. I guess is what the thing. Food is no longer a focus to me now.
Yeah. What else?
What else?
Yeah, I'm like, what about, like, do you read labels on the food when you
Oh
go to
my
the grocery
gosh.
store?
Well, you also find yourself watching people and seeing what they're buying. That's the funny thing because
Oh, yeah.
I'll go buy carts and I'm like looking at their carts to see what they're buying. But yeah, labels, I don't have to look at labels as much, only if it's something I haven't, eaten on a regular basis. Like,
Mhm.
for instance, I had to go and look for, um, for this stuffing recipe for Chris Cooking Nashville. He put hot dogs in it, okay, that he put
Okay.
into the blender. Well, I had to actually go and look for something that, didn't have sugar, didn't have, so I'm looking at all these labels and I finally found, I think it was like an Applewood, was it Apple, I can't even think of the Applegate Farms or something like that for their uncured beef hot dogs that had
Okay.
nothing in them. Most of the things had like dextrose and
Mhm.
any kind of ose in it. And there's a sorbitol. One had sorbitol in it. I think Hebrew National had sorbitol or no, it was Nathan's. Nathan's had sorbitol.
Okay.
So you had to, you're looking at, well, what can I actually, buy when it's out of the norm, and that's when I look at labels, and or I'll go like if I'm looking at for sardines, I'm looking at make sure that it's just sardines, salt, and water.
Yeah.
Even though they say it's sardines and water, you got to make sure there's nothing else in it. Things like that. That's what I mainly look at. What about you?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm a detective. I'm looking at all this stuff. But there's I'm trying to remember. Every once in a while I'll get something that's like not 100%. Like I had what did I have last week? I bought some salami from Sam's Club. Like some sliced salami, and it's like it
Okay.
has a little bit of stuff in it, but it's like I don't do it all the time, but I was like, I wanted some salami and I ate it with some pork rinds, you know, just as like a little
There you go.
snack. But it's
Well, you know what?
sometimes,
That's better than other things.
yeah, but sometimes I'll be like, I'll look at something and I'll be like, oh, I could probably just do that because that's nominal, right? But then I'm like, nah, just put it back on the shelf. So many times I've went to the salami and I was like, I'm not even doing it. It's just no, because then I start like sometimes I just get like irritated. I'm like, why the heck did they need to put all
Why
that?
is it in there?
Why
Why
is
is
it
that
in there
stuff
in
in
the
there?
first place? I don't even
Yeah.
know why it's in there. So it just gets me angry. I
Yep.
Aaron wears his monocle while shopping. Yeah, thanks, Ricky. I think I got some monocles down here. I got these. I got rose-colored glasses that I can
Oh my
wear.
gosh. Okay.
Right.
Okay. There you go.
I throw
Little
rocks. I throw
Miami
rocks at
Vices
Ricky.
going here.
Yeah, and then I got these glasses right here.
Those are probably the ones that you need to wear when you go to the grocery store, right there.
I have I have this wig.
Oh, okay.
Ron would look good with this, right?
Oh yeah.
I have this wig. I don't know why I'm doing this right now, but I have some.
Oh,
Yeah, I think I should make some videos where I go to the store, like you're saying, we're looking at other people's carts, right? And like as they're going to put in their cart, I just run up and smack it out of their hand. That might be assault, right? But it would be great
it
content.
might be, but I
Yeah.
don't. As long as you don't touch them, I don't think it would be considered assault. You just hit the package, not them.
Yeah, it's like that's pretty bad. It's like, yeah, I was the other day I was out hiking, and I'm gonna have a video. Like I took my kids out hiking, and I was just kind of like, if someone's not ready, right, to stop eating all the junk, they're not ready.
Right.
And it's like I don't want to like belittle people or get angry at them. I was like try to inspire them. I was like, and I was just thinking like sometimes I feel like I see people wrestling so much with their diets and stuff like that. It's like I wanted to say like you might as well just eat what you want to eat and just be
Right.
happy, right? Just be happy and die happy. I don't know, but it like I don't know. It just because it sometimes it just seems exhausting.
I mean, you can't make somebody change the way
Yeah.
they eat. They
Mhm.
have to. They have to come to that decision.
Yeah.
It's kind of like even when you have relationships with people that and you can see things that are going on in their life, or um, do you actually tell them, or do you allow them to find out for themselves?
Yeah.
I know this one person that was having a really, really rough relationship with their parents. This is when I was younger, and they were having a really rough relationship with their parents. But I could have told them what I saw, but until they actually realized it themselves, then it would be me just against their parents and basically telling them, you know, y- trying to convince them that they were having a problem with boundaries,
Mhm.
and they had to basically see it. And once they came to me and asked me, do you think this is happening? I'm like, yes, it is happening. And they were like, "Well, how long have you known this?" I said, "A long time." He said, "Why didn't you ever say anything?" He says, "Because you needed to realize it. And once you came to me and approached me and you wanted the information, I'm willing to give it to you. This is what I noticed and this is what I've seen." And it's the same thing with diet and things people are eating. I I did not know I had an addiction to carbs. I did not know I had an issue with the sugar, but it was because of what I did with my wife that I said, I'm going to try this and do this with you as support and the fact that I need to basically lose weight. And it was at that point that it came like lightning that you have a problem with sugar, you have a problem with carbs. And it wasn't revealed to me until I did this. And a lot of people, you can tell kids or you can tell friends or anything, hey, you got a problem with sugar. You're just eating all this stuff and you don't need to be eating it. But whether they're just going to be mad at you because you're trying to get on their case. It's kind of like now, when people try to tell us that the carnivore diet's bad for us,
Mhm.
don't we kind of get offended when they tell us that because we know it's not, and
Yeah, I
you
mean,
kind of get to where you're defensive about it because um I wouldn't do this if I thought it would kill me. But you know what?
yeah,
I'd eat a um, double cheeseburger supersized meal, knowing what it's doing to me. I'd still eat it. But
yeah.
it's just it's crazy. See, people have to just realize on
Hmm.
their own.
Yeah, someone told me that I needed fiber. I was like, well, I've been on the car. I've been essentially only meat without fiber for
Yeah.
almost 2 years. Yeah, it's like your colon needs it. I was like, my colon is just fine.
So SJ wants to know what
Yep.
can you talk about food boredom?
Hmm.
Well, the thing is, you can go really strict on this, or you can do what you can just eat different kinds of meat. I mean, really strict is lion diet, where you're doing beef, salt, and water. Um, but eating a variety of different meats, I don't really find a boredom in this. I mean, like I've been doing it, 210 days. Yesterday I made a basically a salmon salad. Not like tuna salad, but it was salmon salad, and I just put chopped up eggs in it and put some mayo and some avocado mayo and mixed it up, and it was good, but it's different. And then sometimes I'll eat trout. We'll do tilapia. Sometimes we'll do salmon. We'll do trout. We'll do um, sardines and things like that. You kind of got to mix it up. You don't want to just restrict yourself, and especially if you're finding boredom, you don't want to restrict yourself just to one type of meat. Um, put some other meats in there. Put some other things. It's just,
Hmm.
what do you think, Aaron? I mean, you've tried all different kinds of things. Did you find boredom in these 600 days?
Yeah, I mean, yes, I get bored here and there. Um, and for me, it's usually like when I feel like I've earned something. I'm like, I don't know. But let me see if I could really think of a I don't know. I was taken back, like, my mind reset after a while. I started looking at food differently. I looking at it as nutrition, not necessarily something I needed to enjoy. But now I think we should enjoy food to a certain degree, but it should be the
Uh-huh.
right foods. And yeah, I do get bored from time to time. It's like, okay, I can go long stretches like a New York strip every single day is perfectly fine. But then other times I'm like, well, maybe I want some ground beef, you know. Oh, maybe I want some eggs. But there's a lot to mix up on the carnivore diet. I thought it was like really limiting, like you were saying at first, but it's not that limiting. The sky's the limit.
Uh-huh.
If it's animal based foods, you could eat those foods. But what I realize also is like I sometimes I just want to eat because I want to eat.
Yeah.
And that's not necessary,
Right.
but you can if you're eating the right foods and you're just like, well, it's not that big of a deal. It's like I'm not, pounding down bags of chips or pies or anything like that. But I think we also eat way more than we need to.
Yeah.
Often anyway, I think, even on a carnivore diet, I think, that intuitive eating is not that intuitive. Because we'll get bored and then we'll want to eat, or we will, we'll earn something because we worked hard or we had a stressful situation in our lives that we had the like. And when we got through the stressful situation, they're like, well, now I need some kind of treat. Um, what am I going to reward myself with? It's like usually I buy a nice ribeye, but
Yeah.
I think we eat way more than we actually need to.
Yeah. I can see that.
So if you're bored about food, stop eating for a little while,
Yeah.
then see what happens. And if you're not hungry and you don't want to eat food anymore, all right, then don't eat. You'll get hungry eventually.
Yeah. Do a 48-hour fast and see.
Yeah. I have a video I'm coming out where I did a 72-hour fast a couple weeks ago. And
Okay.
I realized by the end of that, like I felt great.
Hmm.
I had plenty of energy. I was a little bit hungry, but it was like, no, I eat way more than I need to
Yep.
because I enjoy eating.
It's because
But that's
we've been brought up that way, basically. I mean, everything, I mean, all the holidays and everything are centered around food, if you think about it.
yeah, but I know I'm supposed to be thankful for food. So if I'm thankful for something, I should probably also enjoy it. So I know some people are like, I only eat for nutrition and because I have to, but you got to enjoy it too. But you got to find a good balance where you got to make sure it's the right foods that aren't, that are actually nourishing you
Hmm.
and enjoy it and find ways to enjoy it, find new ways to cook it. And but here's an example. It's sometimes I'll eat hamburger, right? Ground hamburger. And I'm like, I am so tired of ground hamburger. I do not want to eat any more ground hamburger. So I switch the steak, right? And then I'm like, oh man, ground hamburger sounds great.
Right.
but then but then you get yourself a grinder, right? And then you can grind it at different sizes.
Oh, yeah.
So I took a big chuck shoulder clod, and the last time I cut it, I chopped it with the sausage making thing, which is a huge hole. So there's big chunks like this,
Hmm.
and then I was able to cook that down and all the fat in there like crisped up, and I was like, oh, it was a different texture.
Hmm.
It and so you can work on those. A lot of times it's the texture we're looking for, you
Yeah.
know, a different texture, just a different mouth feel and stuff like that.
Like a lot of people miss things that crunch.
Yeah.
So they'll eat a pork rind because
Uh,
they miss that whole crunching texture thing, like you were saying.
yeah, and for me, like, I remember buying a thing of pork rinds after being on the carnivore diet for, like, 9 months. I ate 0 pork rinds. I was like, I didn't do any of that. I was, like, being that rigid, and I ate it, and like, "What the heck? This is awesome. I forgot what crunch was."
Hmm.
Yeah, but not all pork rinds are made the same.
No, they're not. That's another ingredient one that you were talking about before
Yeah.
too.
Well, even, like, the Kroger brand, I'll
Hmm.
eat those, and I'll choke. It's, like, so dry, I'll start choking. Sam's
Hmm.
Club, way better.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's
The
night and
really good ones though are what is it, that 45405 or 4505 or whatever the number is on those. Oh my gosh, those things like melt in your mouth. Those things are just they're criminal.
cream cheese can glue you up. I love
Really?
cream chee I lo I love cream cheese, but I can't eat it because it makes me bloated.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and so, yeah, I gotta stay away from dairy,
I've
even
never
heavy
had an issue with
never
dairy,
yeah,
or not that I'm aware of anyway.
yeah,
Okay, Ellie's got a question for you up there.
okay, sorry. I should have brought my reading glasses. Um, you make sausages, right? Can you make a video about how to make homemade sausages? My daughter loves sausage, but it's so expensive. I can try. I made some of my own sausage, and I was gonna film it, but my initial one didn't. It was just beef, beef and beef fat, and it ended up pretty dry. But I had natural hog casing and everything, and but I mean, I could experiment with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would love to learn how to do sausage
Mhm.
properly. I mean, I've seen people making it and stuff, and I just I don't know the whole casing and everything like that, and getting them just right, and it's an art form. It really is.
Yeah. I mean, there's probably million different ways to make sausage, and it depends what you want in it.
Hmm.
So I actually at the butcher shop that I go to locally, they sell sausage, like breakfast sausage. And I asked them, I was like, is there sugar in that? They're like, yes, there's sugar in it.
Right.
And they'll say it's like the same thing at the store. It's like nominal. It's like 1 gram of carb per serving. It's like one little patty or something like that. But they told me that they if I order 25 pounds or more of it, they can make a special batch for me without the sugar or with
Okay.
whatever ingredients I want in there.
That's good.
So sometimes that's an option too. So you don't have to, you know, I mean, you don't have to buy all the stuff, but I guess you don't have to case the sausage. You can just
So,
make patties and stuff like that.
what is your favorite kind of quote unquote sausage? Are you more of a like a venison sausage kind of guy, or are you like what's your main ingredient? Are you a pork sausage, or are you something else?
If I was going to,
Yeah.
I mean, the last beef one I had wasn't that good that I made myself, but
I
um,
can see you doing venison sausage for some reason.
yeah, but it needs more fat.
Yeah.
Venison has like no fat. Like I want
Right.
like when they say like 80-20, I want 80% fat and 20% beef.
You you want that thing squirting, huh? When you get with barely anything in it.
It's yeah, the fat content, but I mean, I've always if I preferred, I like breakfast sausage.
Yeah. But then they put the corn syrup in that thing too.
All the yeah, there's all this kind of stuff in it,
Oh yeah.
the sweetness to it. Yeah.
So
It any deer sightings? No. I went hunting 3 times this last week and actually I saw 1 deer, but it was too small. It
a fawn or bigger than a fawn?
was a spike buck. It
Oh,
wasn't
okay.
like it wasn't like this thing over here. That's new, by the way.
Oh, is it?
I didn't shoot. See, it's on my
Yeah.
head.
See that.
That's I got it at work.
Now, run for your life up there. He had a baconator. Have you ever been to Wendy's and done anything at Wendy's as far as like getting something and just eating it like he did?
I have not.
Like he had a baconator. I mean,
Mhm.
my kids they love the baconator, so I can understand. But I have not been personally for myself in a fast food, even doing like the a la carte or anything like that. I have not done any of that since I've been doing this, 6 months ago. Um, Never gone through the fast food line for me. I've gone for my kids, but not for me. So
Yeah. I did it at McDonald's once, and I was like and like I think I said it last week, it was just tastes like pepper. I was like, "Ugh, what?"
mm,
I was like, "No, I would." I'm just too cheap. I'm just like, I just know what I could buy for that amount of money. But
yeah,
like, if you're in a pinch, there's there's good, there's okay, there's good, there's better, there's best, and sometimes in a pinch, I see nothing wrong with it in a pinch. I've seen Dr. Barry do it. I saw Larry from Carnivore Quest just
yeah.
eating some stuff from Arby's the other day.
I saw
It's
that too.
so like literally after seeing that, I was like, maybe I should stop at Arby's and buy meat by the pound. But I know that there's sugar in all that meat. That sliced
Well,
deli meat.
no,
It's
I
probably
when I
gonna have
looked
sugar.
them, I went out on their site because I saw his video on that. So I was
Okay.
like, I wonder what they have. They actually have the nutrition information from Arby's on on all their ingredients. I mean,
Okay.
ingredients. they list the ingredients, and the roast beef didn't have anything, not even an os in there.
Okay, nice. Well,
And
that's
I
good
was
to
really
know.
shocked when I looked at their ingredient list because I was like, "Oh man, there's got to be something." I was kind of like you, there's got to be something in the
Mhm.
meats and everything, but it was really clean from what I saw on there, and I mean, it was straight from their site. So I was shocked.
Yeah, that's, okay, I'll look into that. Not to say that I wanna do it, like, but, sometimes you just I don't know. Today's an example of, so my older kids went four-wheeling with their grandfather, and then the younger kids, the girls, went with their grandma. And so me and my wife were alone, right? And we went out do adventure because she's making we went to buy apples, which I didn't eat any, but she's making applesauce for our kids that has no sugar in it. It's just apples because they
Right.
love applesauce, and it's one ingredient. So we went on this trip, right? And just like an hour trip. But I was like, man, I'm out with my wife. We rarely get to do this. And I was like, kept feeling like, man, it's like,
Take advantage.
no, it's like I had this overwhelm, like we need to stop somewhere and eat.
Okay.
Because, like when you're out like on vacation or something like that, it's like, where are you gonna eat? Where are you gonna eat next? Where are you gonna eat next? We did not stop anywhere to eat, but I was like, I kind of felt a little sad. I was like, she's on the elimination diet, like stuff. So we were just really limited. But I just realized like I started like I haven't had that feeling in a long time. Like I wanted just to go eat somewhere.
Yeah.
It was just really weird. It's like
Yeah. But
I gotta be
were you
careful.
were you wanting to eat somewhere because you were with your wife and you wanted to spend the time with the two of y'all because you don't get that often? So you
Yeah.
associate times of being out together with that, or
Mhm.
were you wanting to eat somewhere out because you were hungry? I mean,
I wanted it was like a celebration.
that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Yeah,
Can see, like, we have, we only have two kids. We don't have eight, so I can understand. It's
yeah,
totally magnified when you're you got you and just your wife. It's eight times worse than anything I went through. But when
mhm,
it's just the two of y'all, it's like we're out, we're together. Let's just have a time for where we don't have the kids, interrupting. We're not having to, monitor everything they're doing. It's just you and I. Let's go enjoy this and go have a moment.
yeah.
It's so I don't think you should feel bad or even concerned about that at all. I
Well,
mean, is
I
that what you're feeling?
I didn't feel bad. I'm not concerned, like, I I know what I'm doing, but I just had that feeling like I wanted to celebrate.
Right.
Yeah,
There's nothing wrong with that. I
yeah,
mean, I was like, hey, we did that one time. My wife and I, we even stopped by a barbecue place and just grabbed half a pound of this and a half a pound of that and
yeah,
just ate. It's like,
yeah.
um, it was just because we were out and we've never done that. But you know what? The stuff out there, from eating carnivore and buying the stuff and making it myself versus going through a restaurant and stuff, man, it is outlandish as far as what you pay
Oh,
in
yeah,
these restaurants. I'm like, holy cow, this is nuts.
yeah. Yeah, I'm that cheap.
Well,
I don't know. I
I am
guess I
too.
just bring that up as, like, what I've learned is that I'm an earner. I earn stuff. I earn stuff, right?
Uh-huh.
And so I got to be really careful. And then, like, we're on that. It's like, well, I earned the ability to do something, but there was one thing we did a while back. We even took all the kids, which was very expensive. We went to an Asian buffet, and it wasn't 100% clean, but like I was able to eat sushi, like raw fish. I was able to eat like this chicken on a stick, and it was actually really delicious. It probably had something there, but I was able to do that, but like do the best that I could in that situation. But I wouldn't have probably. I'm glad I didn't do that earlier. I'm glad I went through all the hard work of resetting the way I thought about food beforehand, being like really zealous about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Talks about it, the audio. I don't know if it's bad or not
What is it?
because Ricky says it's okay. I
Kind
think
of
he's talking about the Baconator on that one.
mm. Yeah, American cheese is not actually cheese.
No, American cheese.
Yeah. Which I've actually I actually had that happen before, because I went to Waffle House, and I got the cheesesteak omelet, right? And one
Okay.
time I was like, "No onions, no cheese," and the other time I was like, "Do you know what? I'm just gonna eat that." And do you know what? It was delicious, but I gotta be careful.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's kind of like IHOP.
Yeah.
They put their actual batter, their pancake batter, in their omelet eggs. So you got to be careful with that.
Yeah.
You can't
Let's
really
see.
do theirs.
Rick popped on here.
Where is he?
Whack.
Bert.
Oh, it's Charger Mopar.
Oh,
Hello.
yes. Hello. I just got out of my bath with my rubber duckies, and they were really happy. So, yeah, we had a good time.
All
Okay.
right.
I'm glad. Yeah, I like your hair's all combed, and that's nice.
Yeah, I had my bath. It's still wet, but it'll be all right. I
Well, you-
spent all day working outside, so I didn't want to go online until I had a decent bath. I haven't even had my dinner yet, but I did have steaks for lunch, so
Mm,
that was good. I had 2 1-pound New York strips. I had my portable barbecue with me, so it was very convenient.
yep. Now I'm hungry again. Yeah, I didn't eat dinner, so
I haven't eaten my dinner either. It's still warming up in the kitchen. I got it on the stove. It's a ground beef stew.
awesome. So what are you doing this year for Thanksgiving?
I'm having duck, of course. I have him in the
As soon as
backyard.
as soon as I
I've
said
been
that.
I've been feeding him. He's getting really nice and plump. He's already up to 15 pounds, so he may gain another half pound, maybe a pound this week. So we'll see.
that's
Usually
no
I'll have
bad.
him on the weekend, Friday or Saturday, or
That's a
when he's
turkey.
ready. Well, yeah, more or less. Muscovy duck is a really big duck, and it's delicious.
Mm,
If you've never had one, you don't know what you're missing out on.
yeah, I mean, I I would raise ducks in a heartbeat if I was able to, but I
They
love
kind of raise themselves.
yeah. I mean, yeah, I'm right here in the city, so my neighbors might not be happy, but
I'm in the suburbs as well, but they roam free around here. They come from the canal. They're considered to be
okay.
pests. So I
Mm,
just give them a place. I'm always rescuing the ducklings out of the drain. I have neighbors that have duck problems and they complain, "Oh, my yard's overrun with ducks." I said, "Look, I'll take care of the nest. I eat the eggs, and when the ducks are difficult, I remove the ducks for them. I bring them here and then I see how their disposition is, and if they're nice and friendly, they become a pet. I don't eat them, but the ones that are a little aggressive, maybe they fight too much or kill ducklings, and I have a special luxury VIP suite for them. It's in my backyard, and they get a visit from at least 4 females per day. They get plenty of fruit, plenty of high calorie duck food, and they don't have to do much of anything. They're fenced in, but they're not boxed in. It's a chain link fence all around. It's like a 20 by 20 area. The top is also fenced in. And then what I do, I capture a few females now and then to let the male have an enjoyable day. And then he has plenty of food. And then that way, even though he's going to be whatever dinner he's going to be, there'll be his genes will be passed on to the other ducks, and I'll make sure some of those eggs hatch. So it'll work out really well in the
mm.
end.
That I mean, yeah, you gotta get rid of those aggressive ones. They don't pass on those genetics.
My neighbors just they get so frustrated because the aggressive ducks, they like to attack and then they poop everywhere, and that's the biggest complaint. The duck poop. My house looks like a duck toilet. There's duck poop everywhere. I have to clean my sidewalk at least every 2 days. I get the hose out there and wash it down, and I use a push broom. I have to use a pressure cleaner now and then. But I'll tell you one thing, all that duck poop goes right into my banana plants and tomato patch, and they
Mm,
grow really, really well. And all my friends, they love those bananas and avocados and mangoes and tomatoes and all that great produce. It's all organic. Best of all, I don't have an insect problem because the ducks, they do a really good job of finding the bugs and turning them into duck eggs.
So Run for Your Life posted this. What do you guys got any thoughts on this statement?
Well, on the seventh day he rested. So isn't the Sabbath just like a reflection of that seventh day when God rested? And so man should rest on the seventh day.
Yeah.
So is it is it really that God made Sabbath for man? Or man just is supposed to be Christ like, God like, and that we're supposed to take a day of rest.
Well, Jesus said that God made the Sabbath for man, not man for the Sabbath. He said it exactly that because it was one of those things where it's supposed to be a gift.
Okay.
Yeah.
So carnivore is a gift for people that have a food carb addiction. Um, it's not only for food carb addiction though, because people with autoimmune issues and things like that. I know he's got his cat in the hat or whatever. I
I
love
love
cats.
cats. It tastes just like chicken, is what it says.
I love it. But I mean, basically, it's not just you do find addiction through
Yeah.
carnivore through the elimination because keto low carb never did show that to me, but it's also for people that have autoimmune because the autoimmune diet that people were doing. This is even more strict than the autoimmune diet. Your wife's doing an elimination diet, um, but it's really helped my wife too because keto never did anything for her, and going to carnivore she was actually able to lose weight. So but that had to do, not, she didn't have a carb addiction or anything like that. It was, she had an autoimmune issue. I on the other hand had a carb addiction.
Hmm.
um that's what I see on that.
Yeah.
But when he was talking about the ducks and everything, have you seen that documentary or the movie about the biggest little farm? Have you seen that? It's a guy in California that took this land that was basically ruined by everything that had been done on it, and he got this guy who um, helped him restore the land and everything, and he brought in ducks to eat snails off of his fruit trees, and he just unloaded all the, he was trying to, it was like this contributed to this contributed to that. It's like they all work together. He brought bees in to help pollinate the fruit trees, and he brought the ducks in to get the snails, and he'd have another problem come up, so he'd bring in another animal to take care of that. And he was finding out that I think when they were killing the coyotes and things that were coming in, that they were actually keeping away other animals. And so he's like, well, we'll just repair our fences and everything and keep the coyotes to kill the varmints that are coming in and taking over our land and everything. So it's like you really need to see it. I think it's on HBO or something like that, but it's called The
Hmm.
Biggest Little Farm. And he just totally, they showed a before and after picture of the land that they purchased and the land after he'd been on there for years, and it went from this brown desolate land to this lush green landscape, and it's just really neat for what he did.
Yeah. Regenerative farming and all that symbiotic, you know.
Hmm.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that's what his ducks reminded me of.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I gave my in laws some rabbit poop this year, and they're like, our tomatoes never grew so well ever. It's like, yeah, rabbit poop will make will make anything grow. Yeah.
Yep.
You should see how big my banana plants are with all the duck poop.
Yeah.
They're double the height of the house.
Yeah. Yeah, I was that Run for Your Life with the Sabbath thing. I have a hard time with rest, but I try to not do anything on Sundays just because. But I have 8 kids, so I'm always doing something. But carnivore is a gift for people that have a food carb addiction. It was for me. To me, it was a good reset of my mind. The way it just changed the way I looked at food and let me reset and see things from a different way. And now I look at food completely different, you know. And so it was a gift for me. And I never realized that I was a food addict or anything like that. But I look back now, I was like, yeah, I was. I ran the food for comfort. And now I can still run the food for comfort, but it's not the same. You know, I have better options now, I think.
There's nothing more comfortable than a juicy steak.
Yeah, especially when you're hungry.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like I said, I had lunch today. Everyone laughs at me because that's all I eat is meat. And they're like, "Oh, don't you want to have some mashed potatoes?" I'm like, "There's no ducks around here. Why do I want mashed potatoes?" I don't understand how people can like that nasty stuff. It's disgusting. It's just it's all mashed up crap, with the little nasty brown sauce on it. It's disgusting. And yet they like it. I don't know why.
Yeah. Well, yeah. My doctor said I need to eat potatoes. I was like, no, thank you. I went to a cardiologist and she's like, you need to eat fiber. You need some, you need some potatoes. You need sweet potatoes. I'm like, I had diabetes and I reversed it. Like, I don't want to eat that stuff. She's like, it won't give you diabetes if you just eat. I'm like, okay, maybe not right away, but eventually.
Sweet potatoes are mushy and they taste terrible. I don't know why people even like them.
Yeah, so it's a vehicle for butter and brown sugar is what
Oh,
it
well,
is.
the sugar, that's like my parents used to make me oatmeal and put brown sugar on it. It was so disgusting. I used to dump it out the window for the ducks. It was awful. I said, can't you just give me some bacon and eggs? But I don't know. I guess they thought oatmeal was healthy.
Yeah, well, isn't it healthy?
I don't know. It gave me diarrhea all the time. I guess maybe that is healthy.
Yeah, yeah. So what you're saying is that oatmeal is owned by Big Toilet Paper.
Procter and Gamble.
Yeah, we got to be careful. We got to be careful. Yeah, who's paying for these studies? Big Toilet
I'll never understand why there's this obsession with pooping all the time. I've had people tell me that if you don't eat fiber, you won't be able to go to the bathroom. Well, I go at least once a day, and I have my whole life. But when I try to eat that plant-based diet, it was like urgent and explosive and diarrhea. It was bad. The worst part is you get all that gas when you're eating all those vegetables, and you got to be really careful because you don't know when the gas wants to come out if it's going to be gas or it's going to be liquid or solid. You don't know what's going to come out. It's terrible. I mean, I don't want to go through
gambling.
that.
It's like gambling. That's like a sin, right?
And when you got vehicles like my truck and the Bobcat and all that are rough riding, that's the last thing you want to deal with. You got that nasty vegetable matter in your system and you're bumping around like this, and then you start getting that feeling, I got to use a bathroom. And as soon as you get up, it's like I got to get to the toilet within 10 seconds because I'm going to have an accident. And I remember that feeling, and believe me, I was in a Bobcat most of the day today, and I thought about years ago when I had that. It's like, man, I'm glad I don't have to deal with that anymore. I went to the bathroom this morning, and that's it. I don't have to worry about it all day. But, oh, man, you get that mashed potatoes or oatmeal or whatever, and, it's just, And then you get those nasty pains, like inside, you feel this pain moving around, and it's working its way towards the bottom. And you know that eventually you're going to have that whatever. And I don't even want to think about it. It's terrible.
Yeah, that's it's like it's kind of funny to talk about poop, but that's what you do on carnivore channels and food channels. But
the vegans talk most about it. They love to talk about poop.
Yeah, but the reality is like I've said this before, but like I like to hunt or even hike outside, but like on the standard American diet, when I'd get out to the woods, I'd relax. And then it's like, crap, I got to keep toilet paper in my truck because last thing you want to do is like play Rochambeau. Like, you got to know some leaves if they're all right. But what I'm saying is I'd always have to poop in the woods. And it's like, crap, I got out here, but on the carnivore diet, I don't have to do that. I don't have that problem. And it's like, it seems like so ridiculous that that's a big deal to me, but it's a big deal to me because now I'm not pooping on the side of the road, when it's dark outside, in the middle of the morning or whatever. But it's, and
Mm.
yeah, it's
I remember one time
I should put that on a shirt.
I was on the road one time. I had to use the bathroom, and I went in the bushes by the canal. And when I got done doing my business, there was a gator sitting like not
Oh,
more than 10 feet away. And I was like, oh man, and this was back when I was eating that plant material. And it's like, oh, it's bad. So I know what you mean. You don't want to
so
be on the
duck
side.
food almost killed you.
More or less, yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, gators are not that bad if it was a cold day and probably trying to get some sun, but you got to watch out for them when you don't see them. They're more dangerous when they're in the water. When you can see them on the land, I've never really seen them attack anybody. They used to go over here by the canal when I was a kid, and kids would go there and eat at the picnic tables, and the gator's sitting there, and nobody thinks anything about it. But when they're in the water, like if you're walking your dog or something, that's when you got a major problem. And every now and then, somebody gets their dog eaten by a gator, and there's been a couple of people that have been pulled in the canal because they're sitting on the edge of the water and the gator comes up and pulls them in the water. You see it on the news every now and then, but when they're on the land, they're not that big of a deal.
Yeah. Tell that to my wife.
Hey, I know people that are afraid of any lizard, even iguanas. I
Yeah.
know women that are just terrified and they call me up. Oh, there's an iguana in my yard. Can you come get it? Okay, I'll come get it. That's good news for me because if I can catch it, that's going to be a delicious fried meal. So can't complain about that. Free meat, I'm there.
Yeah, I've never tried iguana, but I know that in Florida they're trying to make it a thing that more people eat iguana because it's such a problem down there right now.
Some of these neighborhoods are overrun with them. My neighborhood, very, very few, but some neighborhoods are everywhere. And they run across the road. I mean, it's just really bad. They bore holes. They swim in people's pools. They scare. Usually, it's the women that are terrified of them. They don't like lizards, especially. And they got them big, long claws on them. I mean, they look aggressive. They're generally not, but I don't think anybody wants to be swimming in their pool and have an iguana come up and swim next to them.
I used to have an iguana when I was younger, and if they whack you with your tail, you wish, yeah.
Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah, it's not pleasant.
that's for sure. And then them claws, I'm telling you, they can get pretty sharp.
Yeah. That's true. Yeah. Awesome. Well, we're almost at an hour. Any final thoughts? Any words?
What?
Anything else you guys want to talk about?
I'm good.
Yeah, because I didn't write any notes down. The questions asked, except for Thanksgiving. So we talked about mashed potatoes.
What else we have up here?
Thanksgiving duck.
Yeah.
Nobody's been talking about squab, but I may be eating that pretty soon.
Mm.
I got a pigeon nest on my air conditioner.
Oh, jeez. Do you really?
Yes, I do. And they've been sitting on the eggs. So when they hatch, I think there's 3 eggs in there. I'll have 3 tasty squabs when they're ready. If you know what squab is.
Yeah, well, I know it's pigeon, but you said it's a pigeon before it learns to fly.
That's right.
Which actually, you taught me that last year or last
Right.
week. Last year.
Right.
Last week.
Yeah, they're going to hatch soon. I mean, they've been sitting on the eggs. I figure any day now they're going to hatch, and maybe about 3-4 weeks they'll be ready for squab.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah, I should show you guys some of my quail one of these days.
You eat quail?
Oh yeah, I'll
He
grab
raises
one.
them.
There you go.
He raises quail, so.
Well, that's good. I know people that eat quail and even quail eggs.
Oh yeah. Just don't feel guilty about.
I remember in the Popular Science magazine, they used to sell. I bought it years ago when I was a kid. They had an incubator with quail eggs, and you could hatch them. And of course, mine got away, but it was just interesting watching them hatch and grow up while you're feeding them.
Yeah. His quail, they're a little bit bigger. They're kind of like, I think he said they're in between a chicken and a quail egg, a normal quail egg. I can't remember what breed of quail they are, but he said they're a little bit larger than the regular quail egg.
Ah, that's a pretty big one. Look at that.
He's a dead one now.
Ah,
I know.
Quail.
It's camera shy.
There you go.
Oh, you can't see him now.
There it is.
There he is.
Oh, look at that.
Oh,
Looks tasty.
you're
Ah.
muted or something. Your mic is muted, Aaron. I think when you drop the
the bird turned off my stuff. But yeah, it's a Caternix quail, and then like this is a little egg. But this is a kind of a smaller, just a regular size. There's jumbo ones too, but I currently have about 100.
Oh, good.
So that's
like
one thing I do raise myself.
That's a convenient meat source when you need it.
It's like it just pooped everywhere. There's that.
That's what birds do.
So it's like fairly sustainable, which is pretty cool.
And they're a lot easier to handle than Muscovy ducks.
Oh, I bet, yeah.
Now, when do you decide you're going to eat those? Is it when they're not producing, or what? What makes your determination?
Usually, there's different options, but like about 8 weeks, you know, you got to decide. You're going to save some for breeding, or what happens? You get a lot of males and they just start squawking like crazy. So it's not good to be a male quail because a male could, you need one male to every 5 or 6 hens,
just like ducks,
and just like cattle, really.
Yeah. So yeah, so this thing is crazy. All right. Well, I'm gonna call it. It's over an hour, so hopefully see you guys all back here next week.
All right.
I'll be around. Like I said, I had to work today, so I'm a little bit later online than I normally would be. We spent all day putting up an iron fence.
Oh, awesome.